In this part of the series, we are going to look at the first part of the ECDL spreadsheet syllabus, and this is using the application. So here we have two of the parts that are in the first of the two parts that are in this particular section. The first part, 1.1, is working with spreadsheets, and what we have here is a listing of the key objectives of this part of the syllabus. So the first part is very simple: open, close a spreadsheet application, and open and close a spreadsheet. So that's the first thing we're going to do. So I'm going to just put this spreadsheet down, or this presentation down. There we go. So just going to close off a few things there. So what I'm looking at now is this is the bottom corner of my computer. More or less what we have down in here in the bottom left is a start button. So I'm going to click on that. This is the general way of doing it. So click on that. Now I'm going to go to all programs, and all programs there, and I'm going to search through this and look for Microsoft Office, and then I click on Microsoft Office, and then I'm going to search for Microsoft Excel. Now I've actually have it here somewhere. I actually accidentally took it out, but essentially it should be one of those options there. Now I've actually taken it out here for some reason, but so it's essentially working through it like that. Now in this my particular case we don't have it there, but in nearly every other cases we will. The reason why I don't have it there is that I actually use it as a desktop icon. So it's quite often that in a lot of computers you will actually have it already set up as a desktop icon. That's the reason why I don't have it there, because I took it from that list and put it on my desktop. So another way of starting up your desktop presentation, or your spreadsheet application, is actually just to click on the desktop icon. So I'm going to click on that there, and what's going to happen now is that's going to open up Microsoft Excel for me. Now that's one I have open earlier. Let's just move this into shot. There we have it there. So that is Microsoft Excel's. That's just how we open and the spreadsheet. To close it, there's a couple of ways we can close it. Up here in the top corner, there is an X button, and you can just sort of see there. It just starts once I hover over it with the mouse. It just starts to say close. So I can close that down there. There's other ways we can close it over here. Let's go to the menu option. On the menu option, which is the icon in the top left, I can go down here and I can also click close, and that will close it for me. There we go, and it will ask me do I want to save it. In this particular case, right now I won't do that. So I'm gonna, let's say for argument's sake, I'm gonna click yes. I'm actually gonna leave it open, but so much the better. So that's how we would open and close a spreadsheet workshop. Now, just as a quick remark, it's also possible to open other types of It's also possible to have other types of spreadsheet applications. This is one instance where I actually will do that. I have Microsoft Office open here, or Open Office, and I'm going to click on that, and we can open up the Open Office spreadsheet application. It's Calc. Open Office Calc, and it's a little bit slow. Actually, I'll leave it. I have it there somewhere else. Essentially, it's just like that's again how to use a desktop option. Two different options there. So here we have it now. When I am going to use Apache Open Office, I can just click on the spreadsheet icon there, and that will give me the spreadsheet. So this Apache Open Office is an open source complement to it's an open source alternative to Microsoft's Office suite of applications. So you can click on that there, and that will bring up a spreadsheet as well. Mine is just acting a little bit funny at the moment, but you get the idea. So that is the first part of the job done. That is to open up the Apache Office. So the next thing we're going to do is 1.1.2 is to create a new spreadsheet based on the default template. Now, so I'm going to open up Microsoft Excel here again. And what I have here is Microsoft Excel. Get that into shot a bit better. So this is Microsoft Excel. I'm going to close this down, or I'm going to start up a new job here. So I'm going to go to the top left, and I'm going to click on New. And what that does is it allows me to open up a new workbook with the default option. Now there's actually quite a few templates that you can install. So I'm going to use blank workbook, which for my version of Microsoft Excel is the default template. But it's actually possible to actually use a couple of other templates as well. We could have billing statements, loan statements, personalized monthly budgets, sales reports, and so on. So it's actually, there's quite a rich a template is a sort of a pre-formatted spreadsheet with a couple of things already built in. We're going to go for the default template, which is blank workbook, and we're going to click OK on that. And what that does is opens up another spreadsheet there. So that's actually up there is called Book 3. So that is that part there, how to set up a new spreadsheet. Now save our spreadsheet to a location on a drive and save it to under another name. So I'm going to do two jobs here. I'm going to save Book 3. This is Book 3. I'm going to save this twice. I'm going to save it as what I do there is I go to the top left again, and I go to this menu here, and I scroll down, and I go to click on Save As, and I'm going to save that as Microsoft Excel Workshop, and I'm going to save it as Excel Workshop. There's a couple of other options there. You can save it as Open Document Spreadsheet, just like I've done there previously, or you can save it as a PDF or a binary workbook. Those are relatively complicated things for the time being, so we'll just leave that. So essentially the first option there is what we're going to go for, Excel Workshop. We're going to save it as that. Now we've nothing really written in there, so what happens is a dialog box comes up, and I am going to save this as new, just give this some random name, new 1, save. Okay. Now there's such a thing in spreadsheets as working with a lot of computers is things called a combination of keys called hot keys. So if you click them in combination, that actually would save you a lot of navigation work. So here you could actually see the save control, the save. You can actually also do that operation by pressing Control and S simultaneously. So Control is the icon at the bottom left, and S is just the letter S. So that's a hotkey. I'm going to talk a bit more about hotkeys later on. So that's just a sort of an additional bit of assistance there, how we can do about it. And again, hotkeys are something that I'll discuss in more detail later on. So that is the second option. So another thing we're going to do is we saved it to a default directory. I saved it to a local directory, but I'm also going to save it to my desktop as well. And I'm going to call this new 2. So that's it, save it to a different directory, and we're going to save it as new 2. So save a spreadsheet as another file type, template. Okay, so let's do that. So what I'm going to do here is, this is a very interesting one. I'm going to enter some data here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So I'm going to save this two different ways. I'm going to save as, click here. So I'm going to go save as. Now I've previously saved it as Excel Workbook, but I'm going to give it a different name, and I'm going to save it as such and such. Now what I'm going to do down here, save as type. Down the bottom here, we can save it as a single file web page. We can save it as a previous version of Microsoft Office, Excel 97 2003, so it's older versions of Microsoft Office. We can save it as an Excel template, a text file, and a very important one if you're going to work in computer science, a CSV file. So I'm actually going to save this as a CSV file, and click on that. So rather than save it as a spreadsheet, a Microsoft spreadsheet, Excel spreadsheet, I'm going to save it as a CSV file. The CSV file is just very much the bare code. There's very little formatting involved. Now, it's very, if you're working with multiple different types of programming environments, such as, like for example, if you're working with a computer language such as R or Python, you can use CSV files to transfer data across, because CSV files is an open standard, whereas Microsoft Excel's .xls files are known as, they are proprietary. They are owned by Microsoft, so it's not easy to open them with other computer programming languages. So I'm going to save that. Control save. Now, that's just a small matter there. That's just relevant to the type of data I'm working with. It is our CSV file, so that's okay there. Now, okay, so it isn't a perfect match. When you're saving as a CSV file, not everything gets saved. Now, moving on from that, not all the formatting gets saved, which is hard to say. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to switch between Open Spreadsheets. This is quite easy. So what we could do here is I have a file there called new2 open. Now, let's just be clear actually. We have multiple sheets down here. So what I can do here is actually go to multiple sheets and work there between the different sheets and put in new piece of information. So I have some numbers here in new2, and I'm going to go down here to the second sheet here, and I'm going to call that, I'm going to put in some names here: Kevin, Sean, Louis, Oscar, and Rob. So that's my second sheet. So all I can do here is move between the relevant sheets. I have another sheet there, sheet 3. I can put in more information there, put in phone numbers or something like that. That's a very straightforward job. Now, between Open Spreadsheets, so what do people mean by that? So you can actually work with multiple spreadsheets. Down at the bottom here, if you just see down here, right down at the very bottom of the screen, I have a couple of spreadsheets open. I have this spreadsheet open down here. I'm going to close that. I'm going to move between Book 2 and New 2. Okay, so I can click between those two options just by selecting whichever spreadsheet I want to work with at that particular time. Another way of doing that is actually use the tab key. Now, again, this is actually related to the matter of using hotkeys. So what I'm going to do is press Control and Tab. Now, Control is at the bottom left of your screen, whereas the Tab key is above it. It's actually just above the cap locks. So they're all both on the left hand side of the screen. So I'm going to press them simultaneously. I'm going to press down first, I'm going to hold down Control, and then I'm going to press Tab. So I just wanted to draw your attention to that right here. Actually, what I might do here is write in the name of the file, Book 2, and I go right here, I'm going to say New 2. So just watch out here while I press Control and then Tab. I can switch between the two workbooks there very easily. Okay, so that is the first section of using the application. It's some really nice things there, and so on. Now, there's one more important matter I'm going to deal with. Now, I just sort of touched upon it there previously, but it's how would you recognize a spreadsheet file when you're trying to open it? Well, I'll just draw your attention to the fact that there's a special type of file name, and it's called, particularly for Microsoft Excel, and it is .xls. So if I was to go to a folder, I'm just going to move around my computer here for a second. If I was to go to a file type, so here's some files here. This is new to. This is a Microsoft Office Excel worksheet. This is what they call a .xls file. So that's how do I know that? Let's see the name of it. So this is just some information that you can look at. If so, anyway, this is a .xls file. So new .xls. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to leave that part there, and I'm going to set up for the next part of the presentation.